I don't usually do carbon repairs, but when I do, I should show you how.
That's a good one.
So we have this little air box. This is a top part of an airbox from a rally car. I'm not even sure what rally car, but this has been sent to me for repair. It sustained a little bit of damage previously, and I think it has been repaired before. Where you can see it has visible cracks, even though they're not cracks. There is nothing on the inside. On the inside is absolutely solid. So it's purely visual, because obviously this thing sits at the top and this is what everyone sees, and I assume this is sort of the front part. So what we need to do, we need to fix it, we need to make it good. The best way I know how is to literally skin it. So what I'm gonna do is sand this down, just so we're creating a key, because obviously you cannot put whatever you want to put onto super shiny surface. It's just not gonna work. And then we're gonna use filler in a few places where, for example, this, as you can see, this has a little bit of a sort of indent to it. So we're gonna use filler and smooth it out so it's nice and smooth. And then literally sheet of carbon all the way around, let it set. And then we sand it down, clear coat, and it should be good as new. Number 1, number 2, number 3. And I'll take a picture from the top, so then I can actually remember where each one goes. Dolphin glaze worked really well for me in the past. It's ultra fine filler. There is sort of stays flexible, but has really good properties, and I really like using it. We don't need much at all. The reason why I'm doing this is because skinning with carbon doesn't hide the surface underneath. It's literally almost the same as doing a wrap. If you're wrapping a really bad paint job, it will show through. So this will basically just eliminate all the low spots, all the high spots. So this is not the actual repair. The actual repair is carbon over the top. So that's the one that is going to give us all the strength. This just sort of smooths it all out, so carbon lays nice and flat. I hope it makes sense. So as you can see, a quick repair. So all the surfaces are nice and smooth. So there is no high spots, no low spots. So this is essentially ready for the skin, for the repair. All it needs is a little cleanup. I usually just use normal alcohol, well, normal isopropyl alcohol. So we clean this up, cut a sheet of carbon. Obviously has to be much larger in size. And then I will dry fit it, meaning I'll put it over the top and see how it drapes, because there is a few locations where I can see that the fabric may not want to go smooth. as in stretch and go around it. So we might have to cut little slots. So for example, like a little V. So then when the fabric goes together, it has a nice smooth transition without any ribs. Yeah, doing it dry definitely helps you sort of determine how it's going to drip. And after that, Papa, look, ISOFIX, spray it over the top so this goes everywhere, and then literally all it takes is one single coat of resin and it should be good. And once it's dry, I mean, you'll see all of these steps, but once it's dry, I will have to apply another couple of coats just to sort of build up the layer that we can sand, and then it should be almost brand new. We have a piece of carbon that will go quite nicely over the top. Ta-da! Finished. And now I have to find a way to drape it all the way around so it goes and conforms to every single fold. So far, so good, because this is the front, and as you can see, it will look really nice on this side, and the rest we can deal with once we get to it. So next step would be apply this ISOFIX and start working our magic, and then I'll be able to trim in place and do it. So as you can see, it goes all the way around like this, all the way around here without stretching fabric. I decided to cover the whole thing because it was just flowing rather well all the way around. I trimmed, so I have about an inch of overhang. Once it reaches B stage, I will be able to trim it with a knife, so it's a nice neat edge. And yeah, it goes everywhere around, and I'm very happy how it flows. So it should be absolutely spot on once it's all covered in resin. For resin, there's a number of things you can use. You can just use normal epoxy resin. Well, you can actually use pretty much any resin really, but for this it's either epoxy resin or the special coating resin XCR that's sold by, I don't think I have that much, but I will probably end up using that as a top layer. So for this, just a normal EL2 epoxy resin mixed with a fast hardener, because obviously we don't need to wait much longer. I reckon less than 100 grams to cover this whole thing. So let's mix it, apply it with a brush, soak it through and see what we have, and you know. So this thing is sort of at the B stage, and now I can use this to trim it. Check this out. So you see how this is still soft, but it's already hard enough, P stage, where nothing stays on the thing, and the knife just cuts it super nice and clean. So in essence, you can see that this part is pretty much complete. We trimmed everywhere around, so all it will need is just a really light sanding of the edges without any sort of further extreme chopping and cutting and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do now is we need to coat it, because obviously single layer of resin is just not enough. It's enough to bond it together, it's enough to make it sort of rigid, but it still has texture. So what I like to do is cover it with another layer, build up this thickness, the thickness that we can actually sand afterwards.
The next day.
Ta-da! So here we are, finished article. I am actually really happy how it turned out. It's yeah, I don't really do many repairs, but when I do, yeah, I don't hate it as much. It does take a long time, so if you do have some carbon part that you want repaired, please do not just send me things or whatever. Ask me first if I can do it. Some things I'm not even gonna touch, some things are fairly sort of easy-ish, whatever. I'm not a professional carbon fixer, whatever, you know, I can make you a splitter or whatnot, but results speak for themselves. I mean, if you can see those pictures here, this is how it was before. I didn't actually take a picture, did I? Yes, I did. Anyways, I'm sure the customer will be very happy. This is a really good customer of mine. I've done quite a few things for them. Yeah, that's it, literally. If they want to polish it, they can polish it, but I'm not really going to do that. Race car part, and it's shiny enough in my opinion. Yeah, package it, send it to them, invoice, and Bob is your uncle. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this video a little bit useful, because this is not something I do every day, but you know, I do get asked, can you repair this and that? Yes, can be repaired. Do I want to do it? Probably not. I prefer doing sort of large, straight, new things, diffusers, splitters, all that kind of stuff. Repairing is not really my forte. But I hope you like this video. Click like. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you think of this repair? Would you have done it slightly different? What do you have that I can repair? I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.